Welcome back to the channel, boys. Fablinski's coming at your neck with the best Titan build for the Haunted Forest seasonal event. Festival of the Lost is now upon us, so we got obviously the Haunted Forest, which is literally the infinite forest, just like spookified with like big beefy enemies and like the actual, I think it's called like the Terror or the Night Terror or something like that. I don't know, that big dude with the axe who comes after you, like runs at you, pretty terrifying, but it's really cool. Actually, I really like this event personally. I think it's a lot of fun just running through the different trees and stuff. I like the infinite forest, so it actually gives me a reason to go in there and kill these mobs and stuff. But with this build, I found it very easy to be able to get pretty far. I think I got to level 10, or sorry, branch 10 with this, so I was pretty happy with it. Let me just go ahead and break it down now. So my subclass of choice is Bottom Tree Sunbreaker, mainly because you get the sunspots, which increases your PvE damage by 20%. But honestly, you can run any subclass you like. This build really is not really reliant on that. I just found this one the best because as long as you can keep chaining kills, you can keep creating sunspots, which means just more ad clear, which you need a lot of for the Haunted Forest. I also tested it out with Middle Tree Sentinel, and it was pretty good as well. But you know, either one, honestly, if you want to run, even if you want to run Middle Tree, like it really doesn't matter. You can use whatever subclass you want, which is the beauty of this particular build. So onto my subclass, as you guys can see right here, I'm actually running two special weapons. I got a sniper and then I got Truth Teller. So my sniper is just simply rapid hit explosive payload, long shadow. It's a pretty good sniper. I like it a lot. And then we got Truth Teller mainly because I have auto loading holster. We got Demolitionist as well, but that's not really the main part of that. I'm using auto loading holster so that way I can just shoot it, swap to another gun, whether it's my sniper or my machine gun, and then swap back to it and use it again. It does really good for the boss part, you know, when you have to kill the big boss. It's really good for that because you're just constant DPS. You can always switch back to it. So that's the main reason why I wanted to use it. You don't have to run this. I just found it very useful because my main ad killing weapon is Thunderlord. So having, you know, I need something that's gonna pack a punch against some of these bosses, so I picked, you know, a sniper and a grenade launcher. If you want to run like a shotgun, you can do that as well, whatever you want, but I just found this the most beneficial for me particularly. Now again, we have Thunderlord, insanely good at killing ads, and it does a lot of damage to like the knights and stuff like that. Not very good at killing the boss, but when you got some chunky enemies and when you got, you know, some of the mods I have on, you can actually do some pretty good damage. So onto my stats, we got 64 mobility, which actually is kind of useful because you're going to be walking around and shooting a lot, so being able to just to move faster while, you know, not sprinting, I guess you can say, just be able to walk, increase your walk speed. It's pretty good. We got 28 resilience, 31 recovery, which I wish was a little bit higher, but you know, I'll take it. And then we got 85 discipline. You guys know I love having my discipline as high as possible, so this is the highest I was able to get with this particular build. It came in really handy being able to have thermite grenades a lot. And then we got 25 intellect and 32 strength. So for my helmet, of course, we were using the mask, the festival mask, just because I want to be able to get candy and exchange coins and stuff like that. But as for my mods on it, we have a discipline mod, and we got a machine gun ammo finder, really important for this build because you're going to use a machine gun a lot. And then we got higher purpose. Now I'm using this one because it increases your damage against all enemies, and since I'm using machine guns and stuff like that, I want to be able to do the most damage I can. So this is really good just for general ad clear. On my arms, I'm running a concussive dampener mod. I'm running enhanced momentum transfer, so whenever I do damage with my grenade, it reduces my melee cooldown. And then we got sustained charge, so become charged with light by rapidly defeating combatants with auto rifles, trace rifles, or machine guns. So this is really useful because my main ad killing weapon is Thunderlord, which is a machine gun. So I'm going to be able to constantly have charged with light due to this perk, or this mod rather, sorry. And for my exotic armor piece of choice, we got Actium War Rig. Ooh, that's like a tongue twist for me. War Rig. So the perk that comes on is auto-loading link, steadily reloads a portion of your equipped auto rifles or machine gun magazines from reserves. So literally you don't have to reload. You do not have to reload. I can just keep laying on the trigger for Thunderlord for a long time. Eventually you might have to, but by then you're gonna stop shooting, and then it's gonna refill it, you know, automatically. So it's really good. As for my mods, we got discipline mod again, just to reduce the cooldown of my grenade, and then we got double machine gun reserve, so I can have a lot, like probably the maximum amount of machine gun ammo. Really useful because Thunderlord really can't hold that much ammo as is, so I just got to increase that as much as possible. On my legs, we got 2 machine gun scavenger perks, so that way I get bonus ammo whenever there is a brick on the field. I think I get around 96 bullets, which is a pretty good amount. And then we got take taking charge, so whenever I pick up an orb of light, I become charged with light. I am utilizing a charged with light mod, so I have to have this on. Really good if your teammates popping supers, if they have masterwork weapons, you guys already know the drill. And on my Titan mark, we got another concussive dampener mod. We got double Storm of Lead mod, so whenever I get machine gun final blows, I gain more super energy. It's going to come in handy to being able to use my super more. It's just more ad clear, more sunspots, more damage buffs. And then for my charged with light mod is reactive pulse. So while charged with light, taking damage when surrounded by combatants allows you to emit a burst of damaging arc energy, consuming only one stack of charged with light. And since I am pairing this with another arc mod, I gain a powerful overshield while performing a finisher. Now that's not really why I use it. I'm only using it because whenever I'm surrounded, you know, it's going to come in handy clearing out those ads that are rushing me, that are going to try and push you. And it actually has some pretty decent range, so I actually like it a lot for that reason. It keeps you alive in an offensive way. You know, there's some that increase your health or give you major damage resistance, but this one, you know, if you're getting swarmed, boom, it lets out a shockwave of arc energy, keeping you alive, putting out some damage, and you know, more damage the better. So this build is actually like the most fun I've had using machine gun, I think, ever in Destiny. The fact that Thunderlord creates like those lightning columns or lightning strikes whenever you start shooting an enemy, it's actually extremely satisfying and really useful whenever there's like time on the line and you gotta do something very fast, like something in the Haunted Forest where, you know, you only have what, like 15-20 minutes to get as far as you can, and you want to keep the pace moving. This is really good for that, because once you kill enough enemies and you're able to go to the boss room, then you kill the boss and the timer stops for a little bit, you can get your thoughts together and whatever. Another thing that I was a little bit worried of was not being able to always use heavy because of heavy drops, but I found that I was, you know, I never ran out of heavy ammo. If so, it was for like a second or two and then heavy dropped from one of my teammate kills. So yeah, I was never really scared for ammo or anything, or you know, I never really had to even switch to my sniper or grenade launcher during the branch portion. I only switched to it during the boss portion because I didn't want to use my machine gun ammo during that. You know, I wanted to save that for more ad clear, so I just swapped to that during that phase, which is another thing I want to talk about. I really felt like I couldn't do as much damage as I could. I mean, honestly, I'm sacrificing on DPS for machine gun for ad clear, which is I knew that. So that's the only thing, is if you don't mind sacrificing on doing some DPS, you know, you can pull out the machine gun, pull out Thunderlord, and just be like the main ad clear guy. But one of the things I do want to talk about as well is that this build isn't necessarily locked to Thunderlord. If you want to have a more DPS oriented loadout, then you can swap to something like Xenophage and rock an auto rifle with like Rampage on it or something like that. You know, you don't have to use you don't have to use Thunderlord. You can also use like something like, I mean, I think the only two good machine guns are Thunderlord and Xenophage. But if you want to just use auto rifles and then even have like, I don't know, a grenade launcher, even though it's not the main focus, you know, I think it is the best used with a machine gun. But if you want to do that, you can, you know. If you want to use Sweet Business, you know, you can do that too. Sweet Business, man. But yeah, this build is actually pretty free on your loadout as long as you're using auto rifles and machine guns. So yeah, you can either use Thunderlord for being more of the ad clear guy, or Xenophage to be the more, you know, boss depleting, boss shredder guy, and still get the same effect, honestly, because there's like, once you get deep into the branches, there can be some pretty tanky nightmares, and having Xenophage can actually be pretty beneficial for that, you know, just clearing out those guys as opposed to the trash mobs. You save, you know, you save your heavy for the tanky guys, and then use your auto rifle or whatever it is for the like the little trash mobs. So yeah, this build is pretty versatile, pretty free on whatever loadout you want to run, as long as you're running a machine gun and an auto rifle. So go ahead and find out what, you know, what your loadout is, what style you want to play, and go ahead and have some fun. But if you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps me out a lot. You can also check out my other videos. Links are in the description below. I have a lot of crazy builds, so go ahead and check that out. And you might as well follow my social media. I have a Twitter and an Instagram, both at @fat_Bloonskis. But with all that being said, deuces.